Well, it's the 24th of December. Happy Christmas Eve. It is, of course, Thursday, and it is the January Outlook Day as well. And it looks as if it's going to be a fairly mild affair across at least the southern half of the British Isles during Christmas Day. It has been a cold, blustery, showery day. Hail, sleet, even some wet snow mixing down the low levels. But it's been generally a blustery, cold sort of day. Very seasonable for Christmas Eve. But unfortunately, we are going to see a largely green Christmas across much of the UK. The only areas that may see some snow is high elevation Scotland, and by that I mean actually lion snow. Really, I don't really agree with the whole concept from the Met Office that you have to have snow falling on Christmas Day for it to be a white Christmas. I just don't get that concept, because is it really a white Christmas if the grass is green but there's snowflakes in the air? I think it has to be more the other way about, where you need to have snow on the ground for it to be a white Christmas. So I think generally high elevations, mostly above, say, village or town level. So in places such as Aviemore, I think it might even still be a green Christmas here. I think you have to go up higher than that to see a true white Christmas. So there will be a few areas that will record a white Christmas, I think. The overall pattern as we push through the remainder of December is very much the same, I'm afraid, folks. We just don't have any real shift in this overall setup. This is the GFS surface. As I skip through this sequence, you notice the one common denominator: high pressure over Europe, low pressure spinning off the Atlantic from a southwest direction and impacting the UK. What that will do is it basically means that we're going to continue with that Atlantic flow, that general oceanic mild airflow through the remainder of the month of December, I'm afraid. As for the month of January, I'm not really seeing any real change, folks. December played out not too bad. I did think it would be a wet December. Yes, it has been wetter than maybe anticipated, but it most certainly has been warmer than what I thought. I thought it was going to be an average to above average December based on all the players in the field, of course, the dominance of the El Nino. But I think the strength of the El Nino has really overwhelmed not just the European pattern, but overall across the Northern Hemisphere. It has been an exceptionally warm period for not just Europe, but North America as well. And it looks as if we're on track for the warmest December in recorded history, which goes back to 1910 according to the Met Office. But you can see here the general idea here, folks. High pressure, this is for 18Z today, Thursday, Christmas Eve. Low pressure out to the north and northwest of the UK and Iceland. High pressure very much dominating Europe at this moment in time. So really there's no cold air. The cold air is firmly locked in a strong polar vortex. And really, without any kind of real significant weakening of that, displacement, split, you're not going to see a change in the weather pattern. And I don't see that being the case. Yes, there is strat warming going on between Asia and North America. That would suggest that we could see some colder weather moving into the central and eastern half of the United States through the early part of January. But unfortunately, the shift in the polar vortex is actually going to be towards Greenland and Europe. So that would continue to support underneath negative heights, below normal heights. So therefore, we would continue to see low pressure dominance, high pressure over the European continent. I'm going to show you the CFSV2 monthly here, and you can see here what's going on. Let's go to January here. This is the European view, of course. And you can see here very much in the 500 millibar height anomaly, you've got a strong positive here over the southwestern Mediterranean, strong negative to the south of Iceland here. So what does that mean? We continue to see the flow coming in from the west-southwest. Oceanic, mild, very little in the way of cold weather. The cold weather that we can expect, however, is entrainment on the backside of each passing low. Sometimes we can get these cold air masses that get dragged in from either Greenland or Canada. We've seen that in the past couple of years. That can bring surprise snowfalls even down to low levels, but it's not really your true cold blast when we reverse the upper wind flow, dragging it in more from the east. We're just simply not going to see that, I think, through pretty much all of January, I'm afraid. We're going to have to wait, folks, until winter's final month to see if we can get something here. But you can see here the 2 meter temperature anomalies here are warmer than normal of the CFSV2. And really, I can't really disagree with that, if I'm being honest. Canadian model, I want to show you that as well. And you can see here for the month of January, 2 meter temperatures, yeah, warmer than normal still. 500 millibar height anomalies. You can see here that it is the same idea as the CFSV2. High pressure, yeah, largely more into Africa and the Mediterranean, but we've still got that negative height over the north. If you don't see it to the north, the positive, you're not going to get an easterly flow. You're just going to simply keep that westerly flow going. So one could argue, why are we seeing this pattern? Why are we seeing the more similar 97-98 type winter, based on the fact that we've got a very different El Nino than back then. We've got a warmer Pacific, we've got a colder Atlantic here. We've got a setup in the North Atlantic that is conducive for blocking over Greenland, over the north of the UK as well. The reason being is I think the El Nino is overruling other aspects. If the El Nino was weaker, I think other factors would have more control. But because the El Nino is overwhelming the pattern, it doesn't matter whether the Atlantic is conducive or the Pacific is conducive. The El Nino is adding so much energy to the atmosphere, it's simply overwhelming everything else here. So we're not getting everything coming together. We also have very warm water in close to the South American coast. That tends to lead to warmer conditions up over North America and also over Europe. You want to see the warmest waters shift off South America, cooling off the South American coast, and the warmest water in the El Nino region in the central Pacific, also known as the Madoki. And there is model indication that as we push towards late January into February, that does take place. The question is it too little, too late? That is the big factor in all this here. So all in all, January looks as if it's going to follow similar suit to both November and December. Very, very mild, very strongly Atlantic driven. And I'm afraid for winter weather lovers out there like myself, it looks as if we're going to have to wait until February if we're going to get any type of winter, I think, this year. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news if you do like winter weather, but it's not looking too great at this moment in time. Still, hopefully we can see something in February, but we need to weaken that polar vortex. We also need to weaken the El Nino, but I think it may be too little, too late for that to be the case. Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, do check out the website if you haven't already done so, and give it a try for full access to the content, maps, videos, written text. You've got a lot of information there on a daily basis for you to see. Hope you have a great Christmas, and I'll be back again in the Boxing Day period. Bye for now.